Hello, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Today we have a great conversation with Carlos, one of our ESS clients. He does $200,000 per month with his business. Carlos, my
Hey
man,
man,
thank you for. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. Do you also hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, man. Long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, long time, long time. How old are you? Like, are you 18 or 19 now?
20.
Oh, you're 20.
I
Oh,
became in February 20. Yeah. So the first time we speak each other in the podcast, then I was 18, and the last time when I was in Miami in the office, I was 19, and now I'm 20.
oh man, time flies, you know.
Yeah, it's insane.
Good stuff, my man. So Carlos, just to make sure I get everything like right. So you do 200K per month in your business, 45% profit margins.
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Like, um, of course, I have some team expenses as well. So with all the team expenses, then I think I will keep 35% left, but that's still like pretty good, really good. Like that's a good salary. Like that's what most people are earning. Like yeah, maybe in 6 months or something. So or maybe a year even. So yeah, that's crazy. That's it. Yeah, everything has changed for me now.
That's awesome, my man. That's awesome. So how long have you been in e-commerce space?
Um, That's funny. Like I calculated it again tomorrow. I was thinking, okay, when did I exactly start? And it's now like 4.5 years ago when I was on the high school, like last year of my high school. Then everything began for me, and I started with selling, yeah, on bol.com. Like it's like Amazon, but then in the Netherlands. And then I was like, no, I want something I can control by myself, and I was like, okay, I should start drop shipping.
So what was the problem with Amazon? You have Amazon in Netherlands?
Yeah, you have Amazon in the Netherlands, but Amazon is not, it is big in the Netherlands, but not bigger than bol.com. I'm not sure like how much revenue bol.com is doing per year, but it's insane. Like it's still on the top one. Um, but the problem with bol.com is like when, and also like the same problem with Amazon, like when Amazon or bol.com finds a new winner in the platform, what they're doing, they buy the product by themselves and they starting to sell it by themselves. So you don't have the control. Like you're an entrepreneur, but it feels like you're still working for a boss.
Interesting. And so how the journey progressed for you? I know that you had a family, you had you have a son, right?
Yeah, son, he's September, he's 4 years old.
Wow. So you had your kid at 16 years old.
Yeah. At 16 years old, I became a dad. Yeah, daddy.
Wow, man, this is impressive. And for me, like looking at those stories of people that take responsibility for their family, like take full accountability for everything that happens and providing for them, like it's very inspiring story.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome, man. So how was like, okay, so you started with ecom, so you kind of transitioned from that model that you had with Amazon, or was that a Dutch platform, and you got into drop shipping. How the journey was for you initially?
Um, it was pretty hard in the beginning, to be honest. Since where the fuck do you need to start? Like, um, should we use the bird sounds again, like bleep when when we say fuck?
No, you can say fuck.
um, no, it was pretty hard in the beginning, to be honest. Like, you don't know where to start, and you will feel like a lot in the beginning since everyone is saying something else. So that's pretty frustrating since you don't really know, okay, what is correct and what is not correct, what is good and what's not good. But just keep going on and try a lot of stuff that will help you and make you like a better drop shipper in the beginning. But the fun thing is like when everyone is starting with drop shipping, like everyone is thinking like really short term, only taking care of the money they're making on their web shop, but not taking care of like the customers. So then you will get like a problem that payment processors won't like you as a dropshipper. They will block you, and customers won't come back to your store. So you also can't get any revenue from email marketing as well. You will have like a negative score on your Trustpilot, and that was like the biggest issue for me in the beginning. And that's also something what has changed for me in the ESS program. Like now I learned in the ESS program, I learned way more about how you should think like more long term, how you should build like a real brand that customers will come back to your store, buy again from you. Then not only your ROAS will be higher, but like everything will be higher, like the recurring revenue on your store, the satisfied people, the Trustpilot scores increasing. So yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And so when did you first join ESS?
That's 2 years ago now. Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and now you just like rejoined. Like, I think that the biggest thing for me is like the I'm observing your evolution, from the start. And
Yeah.
I know that you've been through like different stages in the business. So how was that like, because I mean, you had like maybe like a year ago or so, the period of time where you started to do well and then the business declines, right? So kind of
Mhm.
like what are the major lessons that you have learned throughout that process, and how ESS helped you with those things?
Yeah, the thing was, I was comparing myself way too much with others. Like I was
Mm.
watching a lot of YouTube videos of successful entrepreneurs, or maybe also people in the community, and then you compare yourself a lot with others. Oh, they're doing 1 million a month, I'm doing 50K a month. I need to do the same thing as they are doing. I need to use the same um the same tricks and the same systems, the same products and everything. But what I figured out right now is that if everyone is copy everything, like all the products, like everything, then you also won't make it. Like you have to do your own thing, and that's a big lesson that I learned from the last year. So for example, like a year ago, then I started like a real brand. Actually, like I stopped with the drop shipping stuff, and I was okay, now I should build something for long term. And then I was not really looking at what others are doing anymore, but more doing my own stuff. So okay, I even like deleted Instagram from my mobile, like, and YouTube for around 2-3 months or something. So
Oh,
I couldn't
wow.
look at Instagram stories of others, how successful they were. Yeah. Yeah. And then you're really living like in your own space, and then your mind is working again, like you're way more creativity, and then that will change so much for yourself. And um that really made like, yeah, the change from a year ago till now, like how I went from 50K or 100K to 200K a month now.
This is, I think that's such an important mindset shift. And it also like doesn't make you feel good, right? Like when, like you said, you're comparing yourself to other people and everything seems to be perfect, like in their lives, and you're like, oh shit, you start feeling bad about yourself and not looking at the things you actually have, right?
Yeah.
Like, but instead of looking at the things that you don't have. And I think that's like overall, like even like both for business and also just for overall like happiness. Like I've had that very similar mindset shift for myself. I used to also compare like, oh, it's like, kind of like, because you're competitive, like you're competitive, I'm competitive, right? Like we want to compete with other people on the highest level possible. But also, I mean, your story is different, your circumstances are different, right? Like you, like as a young dad, I mean, you also have to build a business in a way where it's not just a business. You also have time to spend with your family. You also have time to dedicate the attention to your son, watch him grow. Like And so all of those things need to be taken into consideration. And I think overall, like comparing yourself with like you said, with other people, that's that's not the most efficient way.
True.
But comparing yourself to where you've been, like, okay, you've been like 1 year ago, or even 6 months ago, or even 3 months ago. Okay, did you learn something good? Did you become a better entrepreneur? Did you become a better leader? Did you become a better father? And then you just pretty much on your own journey. As long as you're making those improvements, you're feeling good about yourself, and you're motivated to do even more.
Yeah, correct. That's true. 100%. Yeah. And for me, like also for you, maybe like it's all different than the most other people in that are starting with the e-commerce when they are 20 years old. Like um for example, when I was comparing myself with others and I saw that they were, for example, working for 15, 16 hours a day, I was like, oh shit, I also need to work 15, 16 hours a day. But I'm also like a full-time dad, so you have to combine that with each other, and that was really hard. So that's also like one of the reasons why I stopped comparing myself with other people.
Man, this is awesome. So what's working right now? Like, so you're selling in European markets, or you're selling in US market?
European markets.
European markets. And so what do you see working right now? Like, do you see like direct response, like VSLs, advertorials, funnels, that kind of stuff working, or just like standard product pages, just improved version of the product, better experience for customers? What have you seen working for you?
Yeah, like of course standard product pages are probably still working. Like if I say right now that it's not working anymore, then I will get like a lot of messages in my DM. I'm still doing under 200K a month with standard Shopify pages, but uh, via sales and funnels, advertorials changed a lot for me. Since I was doing that, it was really starting to working for me. uh it's also like pretty hard, to be honest, in the beginning, since it's a whole nother skill you need to learn. You need to learn like copywriting, build funnels, and know how a VSL should converting. So that was pretty hard in the beginning. But like I'm in a pain relief niche and I'm selling to other people like 50 plus. So you need to make like a different approach to those people. And other people are reading like a lot of news articles, like newspapers. And with a advertorial, you have a bit like the same touch in it, like also a really long text that you need to read. And other people like that. So that is great. So that's one of the reasons why advertorials are doing really great for me right now. um and yeah, via sales is like the same thing. Like it's an all other approach than what our other dropshippers are doing right now on Meta and TikTok and everything. uh so yeah, I think it's just you have to be different than other people. And in the European markets right now, not a lot of people are doing advertorials and VSL, so that's a plus point for me. In the US, you see it a bit more now that people are doing VSLs, advertorials. But yeah, I love them. I love VSLs and advertorials. They are really great. Yeah.
So how do you learn that skill? Like, as you mentioned, there is like a learning curve. And by the way, let me see. I'm getting some messages that it's not displaying properly on Instagram. Are you guys able to see? Just drop one in the chat if you can see us on Instagram, and if you can hear everything well. Just drop one, and if not, we'll figure out what the problem is. Just want to make sure that everyone, and also if you have any questions for Carlos, man, like I'm very impressed with your story. Like, I mean, overall, like it's because you have a very, very unique story, like with being a family man at such a young age. Like if you look at other people like that at your age, like even myself, I had my first kid when I was like 28. So you kind of like going through all the steps like very early, which is advantage, I think, as well, because like when you are like 40 years old, your kid is 20, right? And so you can communicate with him, like be on the same page, spend a lot of time with him, see him grow up. I think that's a great just overall like life experience to experience that.
Yeah, it's giving me like a lot of motivation, of course, and discipline, every day to keep working on my business, to keep continue. Of course, I have to build like a future with him. He also has to go to school and everything. So yeah, like a lot of people are thinking that it's a negative thing, like it only takes time and everything. But it's not only negative. Of course, like I can't work the same hours than somebody else is doing, but they will have like a child or a kid on when they're 30, 40, and then when I'm 30 or 40 years old, then I'm like maybe at the highest point of being a entrepreneur, and then he's already like grown up and a adult. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
a big benefit actually.
for sure. Yeah, it's a big responsibility, right? As well. That I see like overall like yeah, kids is something that you take a lot of responsibility. You have to be responsible for them. I mean, you are forced pretty much to level up. Like this is it. Like you are forced to level up to provide for your family. And as a life experience, like when I had my first kid, it gave me, like you mentioned, also so much motivation to just push harder, to be more efficient. Okay, you cannot work as many hours, but how you can be more efficient throughout the hours that you actually have, right?
Yeah,
So maybe you have to delegate better, maybe you have to optimize your workflow, you have to like create spaces for yourself where you can work like maybe less time but more efficiently. And that's something that's something that I think it's like you mentioned, it's an advantage. And kids are the blessing.
yeah,
So we have
exactly.
a few questions for you here. So number one is, how is Carlos so sexy?
Thank you. But I have a wife already.
And I had another one here. I think something in Dutch. Yeah, welke heren producten zo je at? Is my Dutch good? I don't know what that
Mm,
means. Yeah.
I think he's asking what products I'm selling.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned, right? You're in the pain relief niche, in the health niche, selling pain
Yeah,
relief products.
correct.
Um, so okay, so how did you learn that? Like, how did you learn that copywriting skills, as you mentioned, was like it was like a learning curve? Like, did you read any books? Did you just like reverse engineer the winning kind of like VSLs and advertorials from other companies and just like translate it and like rewritten and like learn that skill throughout like like modeling? How was that learning process?
Yeah. Oh, there's not like only one place where I learned like copywriting and making VSLs and advertorials. Like it all started within ESS, like with the course of Harvey. Like he started the module of advertorials, and I started watching that, but I couldn't apply it to my business yet since I was selling a product before. It's like a laser gadget for home gadgets, and I couldn't apply like any advertorials or VSLs on that product. But I was really hyped for that to start using advertorials. So that's also like one of the reasons why I stopped selling that product and switched to the pain relief niche. Um, since I think like in the pain relief niche, like advertorials and VSLs are the best, and then I watched like the course like 2 3 times again, and rewrite like a lot of advertorials. Like I think I rewrote like 20 30 advertorials in 1 week or something.
Wow.
uh, just to learn the whole the process, to do your research, make the briefing, write the advertorial. And in the beginning you don't know exactly like what is working, what's working not, but that's not really a big issue. You will find it out later, with testing different approaches and advertorial styles. um, but for me, like the biggest lesson was yeah, just rewriting advertorials and keep on testing new advertorials like every week, and see what is working and what is not working. So yeah, swiping a lot of VSL's advertorials and rewrite a bunch of them. That will make you like a really good copywriter, I think. And of course, beside that, reading books, pretty good for you for copywriting skills and coaching calls. For example, with David, like David, he's a god, like he's insane. And I have a funny story. Like I'm not sure if I can tell it, but I'm going to tell it. Like David recommended me like a guy. I'm not going to tell his name, but that guy he's an insane copywriter. Like he is asked by the vice president of America to be a ghostwriter. Like what is her name of the vice president? It's Karen or Harem. I don't know her name.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Like that's
Oh
her
wow,
name.
shit.
Yeah. So he was asked by her to be a ghostwriter.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
as a ghostwriter, you'll write like text for on social media, so Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's pretty nice. And but he didn't took that opportunity. What is pretty insane. Like I'm not sure why he didn't took that opportunity, but now I made a agreement with him. I gave him like 2% interest of my company, and he is now like a full-time writer for me. But he
Oh wow.
started like only this week, so I can't tell like a lot of it since he has to write his first VSL. Like he will finish it like this week, but that's so exciting, and he will write like a bunch of VSLs and advertorials every week.
That's awesome. And how do you structure? Let me, or actually, let's answer some questions here from the chat. We have a question here from the Dark Knight. I mean, everyone, you guys have some crazy names here. That's awesome. Is he only selling in one country or in several? If several, how does he ensure that translation is native and appropriately sounding in that language? That's a great question. Thank you, Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Do we have Spider-Man here as well? We have Dark Knight. We have.
cool names. So I would like to tell that I'm selling in like in 10 different countries, but to be honest, I'm only selling in the Netherlands and Belgium right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Still like the same as a year ago. Then I also told it in the podcast that I'm selling in the Netherlands and Belgium. And first I thought there would be like a market cap that I couldn't scale my product further than 4 or 5k a day, but that's actually bullshit. Like even when the the market is still really small, you still can sorry, I'm laughing in the chat. uh, uh, okay, but even when like the market is, for example, like 17 million people, you still be able to do like 20 or 30k in revenue a day. It's still possible. Right now we have like 3 main products in our store, and I'm doing like 6k a day with one of those products. Like the thing is why I'm not selling all the all the it's really funny. uh, yeah, so the reason why I'm not selling like the 3 products at at the same time is that I don't have the time yet to keep managing like all the 3 products at the same time. But right now I'm doing like 6k a month, or so that would be terrible. Like 6k a day with one product. So imagine like if I would be managing like 3 products at the same time, 6k doing a day. That would be like insane numbers. That would be like 16, 17k a day already, only on Facebook sales. Then you can also do like on Google and email marketing. So it's easy to do 20, 30k a day in the Netherlands and Belgium. But I would love to scale to other markets like Germany and France as well. But still, PayPal is a pain in the ass. So I still don't have PayPal. Like, it like from a year ago, 2 years ago, they blocked me.
Oh, I
And
remember that story. I remember that story.
we even made like a video in Miami, your office, about PayPal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is like do you yeah, I mean on that note, I think it's those European markets are very good, like in terms of the I mean it's lower competition. Obviously there's some other people that trying to do like good direct response, and but overall, like in terms of the competition, it's a lot lower than, let's say, United States. We have client in Utopia, right? Like he's doing also VSL calls in our community. He's a great guy. And just in a Finland, in the Finland market, I think he got just like market in Finland to like, it's either 300 or 500K per month. Very small country, right? Like just one country. And now he added Germany to the mix, and he's doing. He last time he messaged me, he was doing like I think this last month he finished
2
at 2
million a
million.
month, probably, I think.
Yeah, and so just to show people what's an opportunity in those like markets that are not even that massive. It's not even like comparable to United States. But it's like if you start stacking those markets, like it becomes like really really powerful. And
Try to open up like new angles in the market, like find out new angles. Like most people, when they see, okay, this is working, they copy like the exact the same angle, but you should open consistently like new angles in the market. Like that's how your offer keeps running well.
yeah, for sure. And that comes down to innovation, right? Like I think
Mm.
that's one of the things that some of the people like they just stick to something that has worked before, and as you said, they're just trying to do that the same thing over and over again. But if you start thinking about this creatively, and there's always like multiple angles you can use to sell the same product, but in order to do that, you have to do the research, you have to go through the like Amazon reviews, you have to find other angles from forums, you have to kind of like go deeper into the customer and like what they're looking for and what pain points you can solve in their life. And if you do that, like I mean, it's like you become an innovator, you have a first mover advantage, like you can scale very hard with those angles.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think people are just like looking for easy way, right? Like just okay, let's replicate what's working for other people,
Yeah.
let's roll with that. And even if it's working, right, and it's making money, they stop innovating. And you see that everywhere in any business, businesses that stop innovating, like Kodak, right? Like what, 20 years 30 years ago it was dominating the space, but they stopped innovating, right? They didn't get into the right market, they didn't innovate, didn't create new products. Like even big corporations do this mistake. And I think that's one of the biggest like takeaways for people watching, is to constantly look for innovation, how you can sell the same product with another angle, how you can bring some innovation, like maybe looking at other markets, how people are advertising in other countries, bring those angles to your country specifically. That's advantage for European countries, South American. I mean, there's many countries that are not as competitive as United States, but constantly being on top of your game and looking how you can innovate and bring some fresh ideas, because those will give you the first mover advantage.
Yeah, 100%. That's correct.
Okay, so we have a comment from Alai that definitely opens my eyes. I saw it here in Netherlands. There is not a big buying power. What would you say to that?
Yeah, like you should search on Google how much revenue Bol.com is doing a year, and then you will find out how much people in the Netherlands are buying stuff. It's crazy, and um, I think like everywhere you have like the same, um, uh, yeah, buying power of people. Like everyone is buying online, like literally like everyone, and it's only going to be more and more and more. Yeah, like more and more and more. So no, Netherlands is definitely like a good market, especially since like 90% of the people are paying with Ideal, and it's really easy to get Ideal, and you have like daily payouts, so you can scale really fast there. You won't have like a lot of cash flow issues. So no, Netherlands is has a lot buying potential.
Hmm. So we have a question here from Instagram from Saleh Hosni. Which market is better, US or Europe? Pros and cons of both if you had the chance to tap both markets. Thanks. Thank you, Saleh, for the question.
Can you say it again?
Yeah. Which market is better, US or Europe? Pros and cons of both if you had the chance to tap both markets.
Ooh. um Yeah, like if besides the Netherlands, I will take like definitely like Germany and France, for example, since those markets are really big. So of course, when a market is bigger and larger, you have like more skill opportunity than when you're staying like in the Netherlands. But even in the Netherlands with only 70 million people, I already saw that you can do like easily like 20-30K a day. But you won't be able to do like 100K a day in the Netherlands, but it will be able to do that in Germany or France. So definitely, besides the Netherlands, I think the Germany or France in the European market.
We had another great question here from Mihin. From your landing page, are you redirecting them to product page, or you sell the product on the same page?
Yeah, so my landing page is the advertorial page, and then after the advertorial, they will be redirected to the sales page, so the product page in Funnelish. And then after the sales page, they will go to the checkout page. There they can select their offer, like if they want like 1 pieces, 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and 4 pieces. And it's really nice how in our VSL we recommend people also to buy like 3 or 4 pieces. That is better, and blah blah blah. I can't tell too much, of course, about how I'll do it for my product, but I really recommend to all of you guys to recommend in your VSL and advertorial that 2, 3, or 4 pieces are always better than like 1 pieces. Also on your product images, like always show 2, 3, or 4 pieces, never only 1 pieces. Then people will think that buying like 1 piece is good enough, but it isn't. And then offering on my checkout page like fast shipping for 10 euros extra, and um, another upsell product. So that increased also my AOV a lot on the checkout page. And then after the checkout page, they will be redirected to the upsell page.
Mm.
So yeah.
And is Funnelish integrating with Ideal? You mentioned, or that's from your Shopify, like from
No,
your
it's
shop.
you have ideal standard when you have like a Stripe account.
Oh, interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, like it's not really hard to get ideal, and also with ideal you have like 0% fee. You only pay like 30 cents per transaction, so that's really cheap.
Oh, wow.
Even like on Shop, if you do it through Shopify payments, then it's even free.
Oh, wow. This is
Yeah.
awesome. So I think you answered this question. What's net margins after all costs? Like you mentioned that if you can repeat that for people who just joined.
Yeah. So like my daily profits, like gross profit, not really gross profit, but more like, okay, with cost of goods and ad spend, then I will have like 45% profits and net profit. So with like team expenses and a subscription cost and everything, then I will be left with 35% profits. So that's really good. So there's a lot of room to scale for me.
Very nice. So we had a question from Build Your Freedom 2024. I mean, these names are you drop shipping your products from China, or do you have your own stock?
Yeah, so first I was drop shipping it, but of course I wanted to improve things in my business. So for me, like customer success is for me like one of the most important things, since when your customers are satisfied, then they will come back to your store, buy again, your Trustpilot score will be higher. It's also will cost less for you to pay your customer service agents. So a few months ago I started with buying stock. So I could also do like custom packaging, custom manuals, and everything, and that changed also a lot of me. Like right now, I think I have currently like 5,000 or 10,000 pieces in stock right now, still in China, to be honest. But even with when I have stock in China, my average delivery time is around 4-6 days, so that's pretty good.
From China to Netherlands for 6 days?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
Wow.
why. It's just with June Express shipping line, but it's pretty good.
Wow, this is pretty crazy. Have another question. How do you validate a niche? I took the question from Instagram. How do you validate the niche before getting into it?
Yeah. Um, I don't have like a lot of experience with validated products and niches, to be honest, since I think in my whole career, like the 4.5 years, I um, I haven't tested more than 5 or 6 products. I think like every product that I was launching on Facebook or TikTok or anything was working like immediately.
Mhm.
So I'm not really like validating a niche or a specific product, but of course I would recommend, okay, what are other competitors doing in your market, you know? Like, are they successful? Look with similar web how many monthly visitors they have, what revenue they are doing. And when you see that someone in your niche, it doesn't have to be the same product, but in your niche are doing, for example, 2, 3, 500K a month, then you know, okay, there's enough space for me as well.
So you're basically going. I mean, we have the same approach that we don't try to reinvent the wheel, right? It's like
Yeah,
I think that the key is to go after niches and categories that have already like a proven demand. I
yeah,
think the mistake that a lot of people do, and I've done this also many times, where you're trying to be like super innovative and like, yeah, I want to bring this like new product to the market, like new category. People don't know about it, like, but I think everyone will love it. And then we would spend months and months like developing the product. We would spend months and months, like, I mean, we would spend a lot of capital also to just buy the inventory up front without even like validating it. And every time we did that, it was just a total like flop. And I think the better approach is, at least initially, when you're getting the business off the ground, until you do like at least like $1 million a month, right, is to go after categories that have a proven demand. But can you improve the product a little bit? Or maybe can you advertise the product with a different angle? Or maybe the product works in a different market and you can bring it to your market. And
yeah,
so it's something that you can pretty much like learn from like right away. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to like kind of like make something that doesn't exist, but instead going after the validated demand that already is proven.
yeah, correct, 100%.
Um, so, what is a good budget to get a profitable campaign if you're starting from scratch?
Well, you don't need that much to validate like a product on Facebook or TikTok. Like, TikTok is even cheaper, but now I'm speaking for Facebook. Like, I always test a new creative with yeah, around like 100 euros a day or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you test like a new creative, like, that's also the budget you need when you want to test like a new product. Like, it's actually the same, you know. For example, when you're doing testing like a product with a new with a video with 4 hooks, and you give like every hook like one ABO on Facebook, you give like each ABO 25 euros or a dollar budget for the day. Yeah, then you have like 4 ABOs with 100 euros ad spend. I would recommend to keep it running till you have like 300, 400 euros in spend, so you have like enough data. Since for me, I can remember like really good that uh when I started selling this product I'm selling right now, around like a year ago or something, my CPA was in the beginning around 140 euros or something. So I wasn't profitable at all. But I let it keep it running like for a long time. And then I saw my CPA was decreasing every time. And now my CPA is around 30 euros. So it went from 130 to 30 euros. So that's pretty good. So I always recommend, okay, give Facebook a chance to find the right audience for your product and keep it running, yeah, till you have like 300 spent.
So it's basically like when you're very like confident in the demand for the product, you just keep optimizing your creatives until you find the one that works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, what I already told you, like, every time I was testing a product, it was immediately working. And I'm not saying that it was like immediately like really good profitable, but um, even when I'm break even or a bit below my break even was with my first creative I've made, my first landing page, then I know already, oh, okay, this can be like way profitable when I'm going to improve some things in my creatives and product pages.
Yeah, I mean, we've done this mistake many times. We would abandon the product. I mean, earlier in my career, like over time, we just learned that, like you mentioned, that if you have done your work and research, okay, so this is a proven category, there is demand in this specific niche, right? The product is validated, being sold successfully by other people, and then you just know that it's just a matter of time until we figure out, the structure for the ads, until you figure out the funnel for the product that would actually be profitable, and you just keep persisting. I think people are, starting with a product first without doing like proper research, without understanding the market they're selling to, and then when they're testing, they're expecting the first ad to be like hyper profitable, and that usually doesn't work out. And they're like getting frustrated, demotivated, they're moving to another product, and then to another product, to another product, and kind of like that game never stops, because they're just expecting that instant win, instead of just being confident in the fundamentals that you're selling to a proven market. You know for sure there is a demand, and you just have to figure out the ads and the creative part and the final part to make that product work.
Yeah, exactly.
So another question: how much did you spend till your ads become profitable or break even?
Yeah, that really depends, like per campaign, like sometimes you launch a campaign and you're profitable from the beginning, from spend $1, and sometimes you become profitable when you give Facebook a little bit the time, and that could be like €100 spent or 200, 300. But if you are not profitable, like after 300 spent, I would like kill the campaign, see what's going wrong, make maybe some optimizations in your creative or product page, and then run it again. But you won't when you're not profitable, when you're spent like €300, you also won't be profitable when you're spent like 1,000 or 2,000 euros.
So you're making those adjustments like very quickly, and making them based on the data that you're getting.
Yeah, yeah. So when I see, okay, my CTR, my CPC is really bad, then I know it's in my creative. It's a creative issue. So I should look at my creative again. Okay, what's wrong? If I see like my CTR is really good, my CPC is good, then I should look more into my funnel. Okay, what's going wrong in my funnel? Is my price too high, or is it something else?
Yeah, that's a great approach that I think more people should follow. Just being like data driven. Like if you think about it, like if you have the ads, right, and people don't even click on the ads, it means that probably your creative is not exciting enough for people to even click on. But if you see that metrics on the ads are good, the click-through rate is good. I mean, ideally it's like 3% plus. That's a metric that we use in our business, at least like as a minimum 2%. And then cost per click is reasonable, so people are interested in the product. They're going to the website to see more information about it, but then it doesn't convert. Then it's a problem on the website. So now we're addressing that. We're adjusting the funnel. We're making sure that we answered all of the customers' objections on the funnel, and we're making sure that that is that's sorted out, and that's how
Yeah,
we're making products work.
exactly.
So another question from the Dark Knight. How long are your VSLs? Does 5 minutes on Facebook work?
Yeah, that's a funny story. Like I was discussing that with Richie, like my coach from ESS yesterday. That also changed a lot of me for me. Since first I was making VSLs around 4 or 5 minutes. Since uh, it's pretty hard to write a good and long VSL, and it also takes some money to create a VSL, for example, of 20 or 30 minutes. Like you have to pay your editor, make content and everything. So that's why I was every time making VSLs of 5 minutes. Uh, but then they performed like really well. They performed really good. But what I saw with those creators is that they, yeah, the performance went down really fast of those creatives. So around like not that long time ago, around 1 or 2 months ago, I created my first long VSL of like almost 20 minutes. I think it costed me around 1,500 or $2,000 to create that VSL, since I had to hire like a actor. We created B-rolls, send it to the editor, and blah blah blah. But I saw with that VSL, like it's my winning VSL right now. It's doing the best. Like I think it got me to 100K to 200K a month. So that was for me a reason. Okay, I should stop with those small VSLs of 5 minutes and focused on the big VSLs, and it doesn't matter if it costs, for example, like $2,000 to create a good VSL, since when you have like a good ROI, you will get your money back, of course.
For sure. So U10, another great username. How to get that knowledge? Is there any tips for beginners, or you should get mentorship from someone?
Yeah, yeah. Start with BBA or ESS. I would say, like, that's where it also started for me. Uh, a lot of people are scared to invest in something. Like, I totally get that. Like, I had the same thing in the beginning. And when you want to find out if drop shipping is something for you, I would recommend, okay, go watch some YouTube videos first of people that are doing like dropship challenges in 24 hours, 48 hours. It keeps you really motivated to start your own business when you watch YouTube videos like that. And then when you really want to start, like, with drop shipping, you need a good mentor to learn from. And I had the same thing. I had the same, issue. Like, how can I find like a good mentor? And yeah, then I found like Alex like 2 years ago or something. Like, I started with PayPal when my PayPal account get blocked. Like, I had to find like a solution for my PayPal, and someone sent me like your number, and then I had a call with your team, and I was like, okay, this feels like really good. And that's something you should have, like, when you need a mentor. Like, the first call, like the first um yeah, like the first call you have, like, have to feel good immediately. And that's what I also had, like, with your team. That's how I joined ESS. And now, ESS, or Alex Vedetov, or the coaches within ESS and BBA, are my coach now for already 2 years. And yeah, they helping me keep scaling my business to every time, like, a further level. Like, 200K, what I'm doing is nice, of course, but it feels like nothing, and I want to go to a million or 2 million a month.
100%, and you'll get there in no time. Like, seeing your progression, your evolution. It's, I think, even for us, like, I think at any stage of the business, people think that, like, oh, it's like, I invest in like mentorship. It's like, it's kind of like they're looking at it like very like short term.
Yeah,
But if you're looking at it like from the longer time horizon, like the skills that you learn, like right now in our business, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, like on education in our business. Like, I mean, what else is there to learn, right? Like,
yeah,
but there is always things to learn. There's always things that you can improve. There's probably some mistakes that you're making that you could avoid if you learn from someone who's like few steps ahead of you. So no matter what stage of your journey, if you're just starting out, maybe, if you don't have like a lot of capital to invest in yourself, it's understandable. You have other like responsibilities, and you don't have that, it's fine. But if you have the ability to invest in yourself and accelerate that journey, especially if payoffs can be so significant, like, if you let's say if you build a business, right, and you're looking at it like from 5-10 year horizon, right, like, what you invest, like, let's say you invest like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in your education. If you focus on that business and making that business work, that 5-10 years, I mean, you can set yourself for life. You can have, millions of dollars, like, that you make because of that, understanding, because of that knowledge that you acquired. And I'm looking at it, people like, oh, should I buy, like, I have like $20,000 saved, $30,000 saved. Should I invest in stocks or real estate, or like invest in yourself? Like, I mean, I'm not saying this because we have ESS or we have BBA. Invest in yourself, whatever skill you want to acquire. If you want to acquire that skill faster and you want to get real-time feedback loops from someone who's been there, like, invest in yourself. Like, and also thinking about that, like, from the overall, like, how the technology is evolving, how all of the things are moving, moving forward. Like, you want to be on top. Like, you want to learn like what's working right now. You want to learn like what are the technologies, because many of the jobs, like if someone's working like a regular 9 to 5 job, many of those jobs will be replaced by technology. So if you don't take the ownership of your own skills, if you and your own value in the world, either as being a business owner or just becoming very good at what you do, doesn't matter what skill you have, what do you want to become. Like maybe you want to become a best copywriter, maybe you want to become the best, video editor, but you have to be like investing in yourself one way or another in order to get that information, that knowledge faster.
Exactly. That's exactly, yeah, that's 100% true. And when you go to college or something, you also need to invest like 10, 20, 30 or $40,000. And then when you're finish your school, what do you have? Maybe a license, but you won't get your money back, you know? And right now, I maybe like I'm already 2 years in ESS, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like maybe I already invested like $20,000 in this program, but I I already got it back, you know, like within a few months already. With just the knowledge I got, I could apply it in my business, and yeah, like it's a matter of time, and you will make your money back.
Man, Carlos, my man, it's such a pleasure always talking to you. You mentioned you'll be in Miami soon,
Yeah, next month in end of August.
and end of August, and
Yeah,
you'll join us in Budapest.
yeah, definitely.
Woo! Let's
Yeah,
go.
bro. Gonna be excited. And next year I'm moving to Dubai, so that's also pretty excited.
Nice. Yeah, that's a place to be. Like if I was not in Miami, I would probably be in Dubai.
Yeah,
That's a
it's so
great spot.
pretty. Yeah.
Um, so I know we haven't answered some of the questions here, like from people watching. Thank you so much for sending these questions. Great questions from you guys. Please just DM me directly on Instagram. I'll try to get the answers from Carlos, or I'll try to answer them from my side as well. Just DM me on Instagram. And Carlos, for you, my man, it's incredible to observe your journey. It's also incredible to see how you bounced back. You had highs and lows in your business,
Yeah.
and you bounced back. And I see that trait among all of the successful entrepreneurs. Like in my business, I had low points. All of the successful entrepreneurs that you and I know, like they all had low points, but it's important to just like stay consistent. If you put your mind to something, continue persisting, continue adapting, continue learning, being open-minded to just like investing in yourself. And if you don't know some answers, there's some person or some community on earth like that has the answers that you're looking for. And I appreciate you and thank you for the trust that you put in us, in our team. For me, like, I want to do another call when you're at 1 million a month. I think that's coming,
Yeah.
inevitable. That's just inevitable. Like if you have to, if you just commit to something, you put time, you put effort, you're learning, you're adjusting, you're coachable, you're taking
Yeah.
feedback, you're applying it. It's just inevitable that you'll be able to achieve those numbers. And shout out to you for your whole journey, for everything that you have done as a young dad. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see your next breakthroughs.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and 100% agree to that. Like for me, this the last thing I want to say. Like for the hardest thing, like for everyone, is go from 0 to 3, 4K a day, since you have to build the foundation of your business and everything. But when you're doing like 3, 4, or 5K a day and build like a team around it, then you have like a minimum output of your team like every month, and then it's just a matter of increasing the output of your team, and then you will go from 200K to a million like really fast. Like I'm not going to lie to you, like I think I'm going to do like a million a month within now 3 or 4 months. I'm pretty sure it's possible.
Well, if you believe it and you have all the resources, and we have the whole team
Yeah,
to help with this. Like if you have any questions, shoot me as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see that next stage of your growth. It's like from 200K to 1 million months. And yeah, my man, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing this, because I think it's very inspiring. If there's one person on the other side of this, like watching this, and would take action, would just take the accountability and responsibility for themselves. And that's all I'm looking for.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome, Carlos. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, if some of the questions we didn't answer, please just drop me DM on Instagram. We'll answer those through DMs. And yeah, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time. And thank you so much.